I'm Mike Fitch, creator of Global Bodyweight Training. I want to welcome you to the Animal Flow workout. No matter what your sport or fitness level, there's something for everyone on this video. If you're already using animal forms, then hopefully you can pick up a few new movements that you can add to your routine. If this is your first time, then get ready for a workout that's both fun and extremely effective. The video is divided into two sections. The first is the instructional section, where I'll take you through step-by-step lessons on how to perform all of the movements on the video. The second section will take it outside, show you the movements in motion, as well as how to put it all together. Remember, take your time with learning the movements. Although they may be easy to learn, they're difficult to master. So let's get started. Although there are numerous types of animal movements, the three foundational forms that we're going to work on in this video are the ape, beast, and crab, or ABC. We're going to show you the starting position for the forms, then we're going to show you the forms in motion. So the starting position for the ape is here. So it's a really deep squat position. The knees are open, the hips are down low, the toes are pointed outwards slightly, and the hands are in position here. From here, we can move laterally into a side ape, or we can drop the knees down and move forward into a forward traveling ape position. Now, if you lack the flexibility to get down into this deep rock bottom squat position, you can also go into what's called a modified ape, which is going to be here. So we're actually up on the balls of the feet, the heels are underneath the glutes supporting the hips. From here, we can also move into a lateral or side ape, as well as move forward into a forward ape position. So this is a nice starter series or position for someone who lacks the flexibility in their ankle, knee, or hip. So now let's take a closer look at the ape in motion. The first traveling form that we're going to talk about is a forward traveling ape. From your full ape position, we're going to drop the knees down, hands are going to go outside and in front. The legs are going to be about 2 to 3 inches apart. That's ankles and knees. So when we're talking about the forward traveling ape, there's 3 things we want to think about. 1, reach. 2, grip with the fingertips. And then 3, pull through. So when we put them all together, we're going to reach, grip, pull through. A couple things to think about. Once again, we want to keep the knees and the ankles close to each other. The abdomen is going to be tight because as we reach, grip, and then pull, we're going to almost curve the lower body or the low back, pull the hips through. So once again, reach, grip, pull. As you get better at this movement, your reaches are going to be longer. So you're almost going to be jumping, gripping, pulling the lower body. Jumping, gripping, pulling the lower body. So let's take a look at the forward traveling ape in a sequence. The reverse traveling ape is a difficult posture to learn, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it's not as hard as it may seem. Same as with the forward traveling, there's 3 things we want to think about. From here, we want to load the shoulders, putting our body weight or our center of gravity forward. This allows us to take some of the weight off the back so we can replace the legs or place the legs behind us. From there, we're going to push through the shoulders and throw our weight. So we're going to load the shoulders, place the legs, push. Once again, load the shoulders, place the legs, push. Because now our shoulders are basically doing the job of our hips in the forward posture. So we're pushing away, we're throwing our body weight back. Load the shoulders, place the legs, push. So now let's take a look at the reverse traveling ape in sequence. The lateral traveling ape or side ape movement is not only a great exercise for the adductors, hamstrings, trunk, shoulder musculature, and stabilizers, but it also becomes a great mobility movement for the hips. So in the lateral shift, we get a nice dynamic or active stretch for the groin and hip musculature. When we're performing the exercise, we want to first load the shoulders or bring our center of gravity forward. From here, we're going to lift the hips, kick the leg, plant, and then transfer through. One thing to think about is whichever direction we want to go towards, that's going to be the leg that we're going to kick. So once we load the upper body, lift the hips, kick the leg, plant, transfer. Load the body, lift the hips, kick the leg, transfer through. So that's the lateral traveling ape or side ape movement. Let's take a look at the movement in a sequence. The forward traveling beast posture may seem like an easy posture to learn, but it's a difficult posture to master. The key in this movement is fluidity. We want to try to move the limbs without changing the position or the relationship between the shoulders, spine, and hips. So we're going to start off on all fours. We're going to move in contralateral movements, meaning if my right hand reaches, my left knee is going to come forward, and then vice versa. So if we start right hand, left knee, left hand, right knee. The beast requires a lot of trunk stabilization, especially when you're moving from one limb to the next. So let's take a look at beasts in a sequence. The cues are the same when traveling backwards. The forward traveling crab is very similar to the beast. The key is fluidity. We want to make sure that the body pretty much maintains the same position, but the actual movement is going to be just with the limbs, really nice and easy. A couple things you want to think about is keeping the glutes 1 to 2 inches above the ground. Keep the shoulders retracted or shoulder blades squeezed together. We're going to move opposing limbs or contralateral limbs, so if the right leg moves, the left hand's going to move. The left leg moves, the right hand's going to move. Make sure that your leg position or your stride doesn't go too far. Otherwise, it's going to mess up your entire rhythm. So try to keep each distance or each step equal spacing between the legs and hands. So let's take a look at our traveling crab in a sequence. The last part of our instructional section is switches and transitions. This is probably my favorite part to the Animal Flow workout. Not only are switches an excellent method to get from one form to the next, but they're also going to be what gives us our flow towards the end. I would recommend practicing your switches as often as possible. The more automatic they are, the better your freestyle and creativity is going to be later. So let's start with the underswitch. The underswitch is a very effective way to move back and forth between the beast and crab forms. It's also great for shoulder flexibility and stability, as well as for trunk rotators. Just like the name implies, the underswitch is going to allow the leg to move under the body, never over. So if we want to do a left underswitch, we're going to pick up left leg and right hand. We're going to rotate the entire body, pushing our force through the opposing limb and foot, Rotate through, we're now in your beast position. From here, in order to get back, we're gonna lift the same limbs, rotate the body, place the hand and foot at the same time. One of the things you wanna make sure that you don't do is try to thread the leg through before you move the entire body. It's a rotating movement. So once you lift the limbs, rotate the entire body, creating space with the hand and leg. Lift, come back to your starting position. Lift, rotate, place. This is the under switch. Make sure that you practice the under switch to both sides. There are two different styles of scorpion switches that we're going to perform. One scorpion switch from beast and two full scorpion switch from crab. The scorpion switches are excellent for spinal rotation as well as opening up the anterior hip. So starting in beast, we're going to take the left foot, drive it up towards the ceiling. So here, it's going to rotate away from the body, keeping the knee slightly bent. We're going to push the hands into the ground, creating space between the wrist and the shoulder. The weight of the leg is going to eventually pull this hand off the ground, land nice and soft, pull your leg back in to your starting position. In order to get back, we're going to under switch back to beast. So once again, leg drives up towards the ceiling. The right heel is off the ground, right leg slightly bent. We're pressing away from the ground with our shoulders. The weight of the leg pulls the hand off, plants, bring the leg back in. So that's a scorpion switch from beast. The next scorpion switch that we're going to work on is a full scorpion switch or a scorpion from crab position. So it's kind of a combination of an under switch with a scorpion. So if we want to go towards our left, we would start in crab, lift the left leg and the right hand, rotate through, plant the hand, continue with the leg. The weight of the leg will eventually pull the opposite hand off the ground. Then draw in the leg, place the hand back in your crab. Once again, lift left leg, right hand, go for your under switch, plant the hand, continue with the leg, pull the hand off, draw the leg back in, plant the hand. The last part of our switches and transitions, we're going to be performing kick-throughs. Kick-throughs are not only a great way to transfer from one form to the next, but they're amazing full body conditioning exercises. Starting position is going to be in beast. So from our beast position, we're going to take the right leg and kick it under the body and sideways. Once we kick through, we're going to raise the left hand up towards the face. The back heel is going to plant into the ground. So now we have a solid foundation between the right shoulder, left leg. Three things we want to keep an eye on this leg are ankle, knee, and hip are all 1 to 2 inches above the ground, toes pointed. We're going to drive this hand back towards the ground, lifting the hips, plant the right foot, heel drops to the ground, Knee, ankle, and hip are all 1 to 2 inches away from the ground, toes pointed. Right hand's up towards the face. We're gonna use that momentum of bringing the hand back towards the ground to create a rotational force to jump through to our next side. Left hand's up, drive the hand towards the ground, lift the hips, plant the foot, kick through. So the last part of our switches and transitions, we're going to be performing the front kick through. Now, a front kick through can be a very challenging exercise. So just remember, take your time with it, practice, and you'll eventually get it. We're going to start the front kick through in what's called a loaded beast position. The starting position is going to be what's called a loaded beast position. So we're going to start our normal beast, but then we're going to push the hips back towards the heels. We're going to round out the low back. The hands are gripped into the ground, pushing the shoulders away from the hands, elbows fully extended. So if we want to do a right leg front kick through, we can get a lot of spring from the loaded beast position. We're going to take our left foot, as we jump, it's going to replace the left hand and land slightly in front of it. The left hand's going to pick up and the right leg's going to shoot directly in front. So if we're in loaded beast, we're going to spring forward, replace the hand, right leg kicks through, left hand comes up towards the face. We're then going to use the momentum of driving our hand back down, lifting the hips up, getting back to our loaded beast position. So drive down, create space to get back to your loaded beast. So that was the front kick through. Remember it, take your time with it, you'll eventually get it. Just keep practicing.